Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Hope you are doing well. Hope you have understood the previous lecture as well. Hope you have understood the concept of determiners as it was necessary to understand this lecture that I am going to present to you today. So it is related to adjectives and its various types. The topic is not that much complicated, it's very simple. The basics are simple. It was the determiner part that you needed to understand because the term determiner is used in advanced grammar as well. And Federal Board also have utilized this term in its past papers. So you needed to understand the concept, which I do hope you had studied in your previous classes, but if not, it was mandatory that you should know and understand it. Now, today we are going to do adjectives, and the SLOs are quite clear. We are going to gain knowledge regarding the adjectives, and we are going to understand the usage of adjectives with respect to other parts of speech, as well as how do we apply it in our writing as well. Why do we need adjectives and what is its purpose? So, definitely the purpose is quite clear. We usually describe the nouns with it, we qualify the nouns with it, we enhance the meanings of the noun with it. So, without further ado, let us go jump into the action. But before that, I would like to recap the previous lecture by sharing with you an infographic related to determiners. So determiners, as we all know, are word placed before a noun to provide information such as quantity, ownership, and specificity. The four types of determiner are discussed here. We have the articles, the demonstratives, the possessives, and the quantifiers. I hope you have this infographic with you, and they will be discussed in the types of adjectives as well. But in our previous lecture, we did discuss why is a determiner different than a normal adjective. What is so special about a determiner? So I hope you have remembered those 4 points that were necessary to understand the concept of a determiner within an adjective. So when we are doing types of adjectives, you must realize that there is also another term used to describe these types, and that is limiting adjectives. Now, what is a limiting adjectives? It's very simple. It limits the noun by describing it. Generally, there are 9 types of limiting adjectives, and that are mentioned as follows. Definite and indefinite articles, we know that they are determiners as well. Possessive adjectives, we know they are determiner as well. Demonstrative adjectives, again determiners. Indefinite adjectives, interrogative adjectives, the cardinal adjectives, the ordinal adjectives, the proper adjectives, and noun used as adjectives. Definite and indefinite articles, possessive adjectives, demonstrative adjectives, indefinite adjectives, interrogative adjectives, cardinal adjectives, ordinal adjectives, proper adjectives, nouns used as adjectives. So these are the 9 types, and the 9 types will be discussed in the upcoming slides as well. So the first one was the definite and indefinite articles. No complications there. There is only one definite article, the. When used before a noun, it specifies a particular noun as opposed to any other or any one. Examples: the cat. The cat, basically, the in this expression specifies the cat. It identifies the cat. It gives it certain identity. The cat is specific. It's not a normal cat. Otherwise, it would have been a cat. The cottages. Now they are referring to a particular set of cottages which they may have mentioned earlier, as we discussed in our difference between determiners and adjectives. The these determiners sometimes refer back to something. So here the cottages are referring to something which have been mentioned earlier. So the cottages is basically something which was discussed, and now in the next line they use the cottages instead of using the name. For example, Blue City World cottages are very famous. The cottages are situated in the lush valley of Margala Hills. So, Blue City cottages are now replaced by the simple. But here, do remember, the is not a pronoun. The here is an adjective, and it's a definite article. Now, there are two indefinite articles, a and an. These are used with a noun when a specific noun is not being pointed at. A and an basically is just mentioning something in a generic sense. For example, a line, it means any line. There is no specific context of that line, but if I make it the line, then we are mentioning a specific line. And an ant, well, you know an ant, they are just mentioning any journal ant, any ant which was seen or observed somewhere, but it is not specific. If it were a the ant, then it means that ant is specific. It may have been a pet. It may have something which have harmed something or taken something from the kitchen, but here it is just an ant. So any ant. So the articles definite and indefinite. The definite one is the, and the indefinite one is are, a, and an. Moving further, we have the possessive adjectives. The possessive adjectives, my, your, his, her, its, our, and their, modify nouns by showing possession or ownership. Please check out lectures on pronouns in which we discuss possessive pronouns. You will remember that we discussed possessive adjectives there as well. The difference between a possessive adjective and a possessive pronoun was discussed here as well. I hope you revise it. I hope you look at it again, because in order to understand these concepts, you need to understand the difference. So examples are plenty. I forgot my key at home. What is your phone number? The bookstore sold his favorite book. After many years, they return to their homeland. We'll make our decision and contact the people involved. The cat chases its ball down the stairs into the backyard. The here again, there are two the backyard. The is again here an adjective, but it's a definite article here, not a possessive adjective. So the possessive adjectives are highlighted in red, and as I mentioned earlier, in order to understand the distinction between a possessive adjective and a pronoun, you need to refer back to the pronoun lectures that were part of this series. So after possessive adjectives, we have the demonstrative adjectives. Again, we discussed demonstrative adjectives when we were discussing the demonstrative pronoun, and in that slides and that presentation we clarified that demonstrative adjectives are just like the pronouns, but the only difference is they qualify a noun, that is the demonstrative adjective, and the pronoun does not have the same case, it replaces a noun. So the demonstrative adjective, this, these, that, those, and what are identical to the demonstrative pronouns but are used as adjectives to modify nouns or noun phrases. For example, that dog is so adorable. He lives in this house. My friend preferred those plates. These books are too expensive. The relationship, now, this is just a further clarification of the points I was mentioning earlier, and that was the relationship between a demonstrative adjective and a demonstrative pronoun is similar to the relationship between a possessive adjective and possessive pronoun, or to that of between an interrogative adjective and an interrogative pronoun. And the relationship is quite clear. Adjectives qualifies a noun. Adjective comes before a noun. It does not replace a noun. It enhances or qualifies the meaning of a noun. So you should keep this in mind. Pronoun usually replaces a noun. It has an antecedent. Adjectives do not, except for some of the determiners which have an antecedent, but it's quite clear from the determiners that they will be followed by a noun or a pronoun. Interrogative adjectives. Interrogative adjectives, which or what is like an interrogative pronoun, except that it modifies a noun or a noun phrase rather than standing on its own. See also demonstrative adjectives and possessive adjectives for this purpose. I have highlighted the issue. Examples: which method is likely to produce the best results? What subject did you enjoy most? So they are asking questions, but here, which is qualifying the method, what is qualifying the subject? After interrogative adjectives, we have the indefinite adjectives. An indefinite adjective is similar to an indefinite pronoun, except that it modifies a noun, pronoun, or a noun phrase. Examples: when many people continue to ignore warnings about the dangers of sunbathing, the examiners can pitch on any student to answer questions. There are a few people sitting at the back of the hall. All children should be taught to swim. Many, any, few, and all. These are all pronouns as well, but if they are replacing a noun, then they are considered a pronoun. But if they are qualifying a noun, then they are not pronouns, they are adjectives. I have highlighted this issue in the previous slides as well. Kindly keep this in mind. Then we have the cardinal adjectives. Okay. Some of you may have studied the types of adjectives in which we did qualitative adjectives and quantitative adjectives. Well, in these presentations, I have changed it a bit. I have advanced it a bit. You have descriptive adjectives, which are divided into attributive and predicate and post-positive adjectives, and then the determinants. But we have also the adjectives of quantity, in which we are indefinite adjective, and then we have
So, cardinal adjectives are basically adjectives that modify the noun by numbering it, stating how many, and the numbers are quite clear. So, examples are 5 pens, 6 tables. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the numbers are all cardinal adjectives. Then we have the ordinal adjectives.
an ordinal adjective
Indicates the position of a noun in a series. Example: the first date, the third month. It's not. It's the same numerical number 1, 2, 3, but in its ordinal form, not in its cardinal form. So, because of this form, this first and second and third, we call it ordinal adjectives, and the previous slide we knew them as cardinal adjectives. So that is the basic difference. You should have the an idea of how cardinal adjectives are different from ordinal adjectives. Then we have the proper adjectives. The proper adjectives are derived from proper names, and they are called proper adjectives. These are easily recognizable as they are always capitalized in a text. But here are examples: Japanese food. Now, food is a noun. Japanese is basically a nationality, a place, a name associated with a place.
So it's noun. Basically, it's because of its proper noun nature, we call it, as it qualifies the noun, we call it proper adjective. So Japanese food, Russian opera. Food and opera are both nouns, both are qualified by nouns, but here they are acting as adjectives and we call it proper adjectives. Then we have the last slide related to the types, that is noun used as adjectives. Sometimes nouns can be used as adjectives to define or describe another noun. For example, the computer exhibition. Exhibition is a noun, but computer is also a noun. But here the computer exhibition, when you look at it in togetherness, basically, the computer is qualifying the noun exhibition. So here this noun also becomes an adjective. So we call it noun used as an adjective. A history teacher, an English teacher. So this is how noun are used as adjectives. Now here in front of you is this infographic, and because it was a bit difficult to adjust it in a squarish form, so I do hope you can tilt your mobile and take a snap, and after taking a snap you can rotate it as well for your own ease. But here are examples of and rules of compound adjectives. This is also a type of adjective. When you adjective plus past participle, the first rule is then there is adverb plus past participle, then we have noun, then we have another nounic rule, then we have an adjective, then we have an adverb, then we have a noun, then we have an adjective, then another noun, and then adjective. So basically these are all different types of adjectives and different types of nouns and adverbs, which are being collected, which are being gathered together with either past participle or present participle or another noun or adjective with an adjective. So these are the 9 different rules that you need to remember. The first 3 was adjective, adverb, and noun plus past participle. The next 3 was noun, adjective, adverb with present participle. Then we have noun with an adjective, then adjective first and noun later, then we have noun with a noun, and then we have an adjective and adjective together. So we make compound nouns, and the examples are given together. Let us do it together with the examples. Now look at the first one as a sample. You look at the first one, we have an adjective first and then we add with it a past participle. So adjective is narrow and the past participle is minded. Then we have the adverb and then the past participle in which adverb is well and the participle is behaved. So following the same rules you can create other compound adjectives as well. The remaining formulas are given. I took it from esl.com. It's a very good website for such infographics, and I give you short keys. For remembering different rules and regulations. So I do hope you take a snap of this picture and try to remember how compound adjectives are made. Now, this infographic, I took it from englishgrammar.com, Woodwards, and this one is related to basically the order of adjectives. Yani, if you have to use maximum adjectives in a sentence, what would be the order? So basically they have tried to make it into a code that at OSASCOMP, if you can look in the center, OSASCOMP, however you can pronounce it. I pronounce it OSASCOMP. So OSAS, O is for opinion, S for size, A for age, S for shape, C for color, O for origin, M for material, and P for purpose. Now if you look at the first line where the opinion, size, age, shape, color, origin, material, purpose, the heading is given, under it are different than the words. For opinion there is ugly, for size there is small, for age old, for shape thin, for color red, for origin Italian, material cotton, purpose sleeping. So using opinion, size, age, shape, color, origin, material, this series, in this sequence you will use the adjectives if you have to use plenty of adjectives in a sentence. Look at the first line underneath that heading.